Hi all, welcome back to Whoops with C++ session 24. In today's session, we will see the difference between C structure and C++ structure. And also we'll see the difference between C++ structure and C++ class. Okay, so how to define C structure and how to define C++ structure? What is the syntax of this? Okay, so if you are creating a C structure, then what we need is struct name, data members, open braces, closing braces, and data members. In C++, we are using struct keyword, struct name, open braces, access specifier, data members, function members, and closing braces. So here, what is the difference we can figure out? So one is access specifier and another one is function members. Means a C++ structure is having access specifiers and not only data members but also it consists of function members inside the structure. So next, if I want to create a variable for the structure, what we are doing is we are using struct keyword, then structure variable name, structure name, and structure variable. Here directly you can use structure name and structure variable. It is like since it is user defined data types, we can use it like a normal data types. So like however you are creating a integer variable, int variable, character variable, like that, struct name variable you can define like that in C++. But here struct keyword is optional while creating the structure variable. Now in the same way, if I want to create pointer to this structure or a pointer to a C++ structure, how we will create? That is struct struct name star sptr. That is pointer to a structure. So here struct name star sptr pointer to a structure. So here also this struct keyword is optional for C++, but in C struct keyword is must. Okay. So next, once you have created the pointer, make sure that this pointer is holding address of a valid structure variable or variable variable of same structure. Okay. So sptr is pointed to this structure and s variable structure variable is pointed to this structure. So sptr equals to address of structure variable. Now this pointer is holding address of this structure variable. Same here. sptr equals to address of structure variable. Now, if I want to access the members, that is data members of this class, then how what is required? Either I require the structure variable or the structure pointer. By using structure variable, how we are going to access is you need structure variable as well as dot operator to access the members of this structure. And the same way, in C++ structure also, you need structure variable, dot operator to access data members as well as function members of this structure. Okay. Now, by using pointer, if I want to access these members, how we can access? We need the structure pointer variable as well as arrow operator to access these data members. In the same way, here also you need structure pointer, arrow operator to access data members as well as function members of this structure. And here empty structure size is 0 bytes and here empty structure size is 1 byte. So empty structure means we can define empty structure as the structure without having any data members is called empty structure. So how can we define empty structure? A structure without having data members is empty structure. Okay, so here also a structure without having any data members is called empty structure. So empty structure size is 0 bytes in C, whereas in C++ it is 1 byte. So creating a variable to a empty structure is no use in C. Okay, but whereas in C++, even though data members are there, not there, there is a chance that function members might be present in C structures, C++ structure. Okay, so to invoke those members like this structure variable dot function members. Now assume that I have created two structure variables, structure variable 1, structure variable 2. Now I am invoking structure variable 1 dot function members, structure variable 2 dot function members. Now to differentiate structure variable 1 and structure variable 2, because the compiler has to know who is invoking this function, whether structure variable 1 or structure variable 2. To identify that, the minimum size allocated by C++ compiler is for the empty structure is 1 byte. Okay, so these are the differences between C structure versus C++ structure. Now just whatever we have observed here, same thing we are replicating in one table now. So just again recalling this. So what are the differences we have identified? That is, there are no access specifiers present in C structure, whereas there are three different access specifiers in C++ structure. That is private, protected, and public. So we will discuss about these access specifiers in coming sessions. Okay, so C structure contains only data members, whereas C++ structure contains data as well as function members. And empty structure size is 0 bytes in C structure, empty structure size is 1 byte in C++ structure. In C structure, static and constant members are not allowed. This is very, very important point to be remembered. Static and constant members are not allowed in C structure, whereas you can have static and constant members in C++ structure. That is like this, static int data or const int data. So these things are not allowed in C structure, whereas you can have it in C++ structure. Now, while creating a variable for a structure or pointer to a structure, struct keyword is must in C structure, whereas it is optional in C++ structure. And there is no inheritance in C structures, and inheritance is possible in C++ structure. Okay. Now, total size of non-static data members present in the structure is defined as size of a structure, whereas in C++ also you can define the size of structure variable as total size of non-static data members present in the structure. Okay. Now, now we will see the difference between C++ structure as well as C++ class. So we have seen just now how to define the syntax of C++ structure, that is struct name, access specifier, data members, function members. Same here, class name, access specifier, data members, function members. Okay. Now, if I want to create a variable for this, how we will create? Struct name, variable name, here class name, object name. Okay. So since we are class and object terminology, we can use, you can use like this, class name, object name instead of variable name. Okay. So now, if I am creating a pointer to a structure, then what we'll do is struct name star sptr. We are giving, if I am creating a creating pointer to a class, then we have to use class name star cptr. So now after creating the pointer, your pointer has to hold the address of a structure variable, or here your pointer has to hold the address of an object of the same class. Okay, so for that sptr equals to address of structure variable here, and cptr equals to address of object name. Okay, so next, to invoke the members, data members or function members of this structure, what is required is we need a structure variable and dot operator, that is structure variable dot data members, structure variable dot function members. In the same way, here object name dot data members and object name dot function members. So by using pointers, again, structure pointer arrow data members, structure pointer arrow function members, here also cptr arrow data members, cptr arrow function members. Okay, so now empty structure size is 1 byte here, here empty class size is 1 byte. So if you observe here, just observe what is the difference here between the C++ structure and C++ class. Okay, so here only difference we can figure out is struct keyword here and class keyword here. Apart from these keywords, there is no difference here, right? So whatever things are possible with C++ structure, same thing will be applicable for C++ class. Whatever things you can do in with the C++ class, same things you can do with the C++ structure also. Okay, so here also static and constant members are allowed. Here also static and constant members are allowed. For structures also inheritance is allowed. For class also inheritance is allowed. Same, both are same. Only difference what we can find here is struct keyword here and class keyword here. Okay. So why then, if both are same, then why they have given something like a class, right? So for that, as we said, C++ is having full backward compatibility with C. Say for example, if you want to move your entire code to C++, okay? So during that time, you need not to modify most of the things, right? So only few things you can modify. Just you can take the entire structures as it is in C++ to provide backward compatibility. They have retained this structure concept as it is, okay, but with additional securities whatever the class and objects is giving, okay. Now, apart from this, there are some two hidden differences also between C++ structure and C++ class. So that is, the default access specifier in the C++ structure is public, whereas in C++ class it is private. And the default mode of inheritance is public in structure, whereas the default mode of inheritance is private in C++. Okay. So- Okay. Now, a few assignments for today. That is, what are the main differences of C structure versus C++ structure, and what are the main differences of C++ structure versus C++ class, and how can you define such of a structure or such of a class? And fourth one, what do you mean by empty structure or empty class? Okay, so that's for today's concepts. Thanks for watching.